That good? Yeah. Okay, great. Do, 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 do. Okay. Why not? Okay. Okay, we're baking a chocolate cake today. Oh, we're baking a chocolate cake today. And shout out to the person that said I never have anything ready. It's on purpose. Cause we all get ready in the kitchen. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to be whatever. Anyways, hi to you. Oh, and also that one's for you too. Okay. Let's see what we need for this cake that we are gonna bake. You always wondered why that app didn't exist. Now you can make it. Taking the time to save atoms energy and soft bagels. It's just right. Okay. We need to put our oven on, reheat our oven, prep our pans. Get our pans on. Okay. We were, found. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, my lights are all going out. I need it. Lighting. Yeah. Hello, there we go. Okay, let's keep going with our cake. So today I am making what I'm calling a velvet ribbon chocolate raspberry cake. It's my first time making this exact recipe, but we're gonna make it work. So we're gonna prep our pans and our oven is preheating. And then I need to pull out the things that need to come to room temperature. Room temperature. So I lined the pan with some parchment paper. Hello. And now I'm going to spray it with some Pam. I'm going to spray it with some Pam baking formula. So I like to hold the pan like that, and then we're just basically spraying the sides. Bong, bong, bong. One pan is ready. We're gonna take our second springform pan and spray down the sides. I'm doing it over the sink. Great. So now our pans, our only pans, are ready. And so now let's take a second to pull. Oh, we need to make some coffee. So I'm gonna make some bustelo. We need some fresh coffee. Where is? Oh no, café de oro. That's what we're making. And then we also need egg and butter. So let's do that first. We need one egg. Our eggy. And cracked. Okay. Okay, great. Now we're gonna set our egg aside. Okay, and our buttermilk. We need 180 grams of buttermilk. Oh, we have our buttermilk. The buttermilk. 180 grams. One 180. One of these friends can order whatever she wants from the menu. The other has food allergies. Okay, awesome. Now let's get our coffee brewed. Let's do this really quick. We're using some Café de Oro coffee. We're gonna make the espresso now. And we're gonna want something to put it in. Okay, great. Now, go back to our ingredients. Okay, we have our buttermilk. Now we need 60 grams of oil. $60 grams, and we're using canola oil. Hello. 60 grams. $60. Okay. Now, okay. Now we have our egg. Now we need 5 grams of vanilla. We're going to use vanilla bean paste. Oh, 5. Okay, we have our vanilla. Now, okay, we're making our coffee. So now we're going to set aside our dry ingredients. So we need cake flour, cocoa powder, sugar, light brown sugar, baking soda, baking powder, salt. So sugar. Cake flour, cocoa powder, light brown sugar, light bean sugar, um, soda powder, soda powder, salt, and then salt. Okay, so first, let's set aside our cocoa powder because once the coffee is ready, that's what the coffee is for, is to help us bloom the cocoa. So we're going to get all the passwords. Say we're gonna get okay. We're using cocoa powder, 40 grams. Nine, 20, 36, 46. We need 40. Forty. This is coming along. And then we're gonna need 120 grams of coffee. We're gonna mix the brewed espresso with water so that it's closer to coffee versus just like an espresso shot. I'm making a chocolate cake. We're working on a velvet ribbon chocolate raspberry cake. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna prep this to get us to 120 grams with the espresso that's coming out of here. So let's get this to 60 or 50. Right now it's at 38, 44, 45. Perfect. 58, 60. Perfect. So then we'll add 60 grams of espresso to this to make it hot coffee. And then what we'll do is take the cocoa powder and mix it with the coffee, and that'll help the cocoa powder bloom. So we're gonna set these two aside while we wait for the espresso. Oh wait, I didn't. Yeah, no, I did add water. Yes, I did add water. ADHD. I added water. I put the thing in, then the coffee. It should be any second now. Okay. Let's keep measuring. We need. Ugh. Okay, cake flour. 155. I know we're gonna need more cake flour. So let's take out our cake flour. 155. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to get another box out, which is fine. So I have backups in my pantry. Oh no, actually we have more than enough. 178. And we need 155. Okay, we're gonna put some back. Oh, that worked out. 155. Cute. Didn't have to pull any out. 155. Okay, great. Awesome. Still have a tiny bit left. Oh, there we go. I see some steam. I see steam. Choo choo choo. I see steam. Ice cream so good. Yes, yes, yes. Smells like coffee. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're in business. We're in business. Okay, beautiful. Okay, great. So now let's take this and pour. So we have our freshly brewed espresso. And we need 60 grams of this. Actually, let's just pour it straight into where we need it. 60 grams into 60 grams of water. It's making a mess. I'm making a mess. Let's go with the other hand. 31. Oh, but I can't press it against it. 34. 55. Okay, perfect. And then we'll just set this aside. That can hang out there for a bit. That's a little too hot. Okay, great. So now we have our hot coffee. This one will be hot. Okay, great. So now we're gonna take our cocoa powder. Okay, let me things out the way. So now we have our freshly brewed espresso that's been mixed in water, equal parts. So 60 grams water, 60 grams of espresso, freshly brewed espresso. Hello. And so now we're gonna take our cocoa powder and we're gonna drop it in here. Okay, great. Now mix this together. Just like so. Okay. And it basically made like a sludgy kind of coffee chocolate mix. We're going to set this aside and we're going to keep measuring out the rest of our ingredients. Yes, because we measure as we go. It's part of the process. Measuring the ingredients is part of the process. And we're here for what? The process. Okay. Now we need our sugar. Can they go together? Okay. So we need okay, we need 180 grams of sugar. Perfect. 180. Great. Then we need light brown sugar, 30 grams. 30 grams. 30 grams. Okay. That's our light brown sugar. Now we're going to set our sugar aside. And now we need half a teaspoon of baking powder. So we have our baking powder, half a teaspoon. Set that aside. Then we have baking soda, 1 teaspoon. That was the, oh no, this is the one. This is not the half. See, I got that backwards. Ooh, wait, yeah, baking powder, baking soda is a teaspoon. Okay, I got that backwards. At least I caught it. Okay, so scratch that. Let's do that again. Okay, let's go back. This one is actually half a teaspoon. So baking powder, half a teaspoon. So get that right. Don't want to swap those around. Okay, there we go. See, this is why I like doing small bowls, because the ADHD of it all, you never know when you might get something wrong and you have to like fix it really quick. Okay, now 1 teaspoon baking soda. Okay, great. And then we need half a teaspoon of salt. Another salt. Okay. Now we have all our ingredients set aside and measured. So then okay, so it tells me to put all of my ingredients that are dry into one bowl. So we have our cake flour. Our cocoa powder is considered a dry ingredient, but we've actually used it to, we've bloomed it with the coffee. So then we have our sugars. And then we have our other dries, our powder, our soda, and our salt. And I've noticed that sometimes the powders leave a little residue behind. So what I do is I take the salt and I just kind of shake it in the bowl that I used for the baking powder and the baking soda, and it just picks up whatever's kind of been left behind in those bowls. So then that goes like that, and see, no residue. And bam, bam, bam. So we're gonna take our dry ingredients, we're gonna whisk them together. there's time to get a deal on something. Okay. Trying to break up the brown sugar cups. Okay, great. Now it says to mix our wet ingredients. So we have our buttermilk. Okay. Then we have our oil. Okay. Then we have vanilla, bean paste. Great. And then we have our egg. Now, I'm going to take an immersion blender to mix these together. I'm just go grab it. First, I gotta wash the egg off my hands. Okay, we go grab the immersion blender. And then we have our immersion blender, and we're gonna mix our wet ingredients. Just like that. Pretty easy. Then wait, no, wait, I forgot the thing. Ah, because we have one extra step. We're gonna actually take, sorry, I forgot about my chocolate mix. Well, it can't be a chocolate cake without the chocolate. Okay, almost forgot that. So then we're gonna take our beautiful chocolate coffee mix that we just made. And we're gonna scrape it out of our bowl. I mean, out of our mug. A fun little spatula moment. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna take this. Oh yeah. Now it's chocolate. It's chocolate. Okay. Now perfect. Now we can put this away. Okay, great. So now we're gonna take our wet mix and our dry mix, and we're gonna gently mix these together without over mixing. What that is, but you're coming out. Okay, so let's take our chocolate mix. Just like that. And now we're gonna gently mix this together without over mixing. So we're just kind of folding it into itself. It's a little wet. Well, it's cake batter. I'm so used to like cookie dough. I forget that cake batter is wet. Okay. So now we have our lovely cake batter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. Cake batter. Okay. So then okay, awesome. Now we have our cake pans, our only pans. Okay, move this out the way. Now, okay, let's see. $2.45. Okay, let's see. Okay, 2.45 plus 8. Okay, 3.16. 3.26. 3.91. Actually, yeah, 3.98. 3.99. Beautiful. Find affordable health insurance plans. Great. Lowest prices, easiest. Your free quote now. Okay, awesome. So now let's make sure our oven is ready for us. Yep. Okay, so now Okay, two pan, two pans, one cake, and they need to be in there for 22 to 27 minutes. Check at 22. So let's set 22. Okay. Okay, great. So now while that's doing, let's just take a quick minute to portion out some cookies and freeze them. So let's take our pan. Okay, great. And we have our coquito cookies. Where, where are you? Where are you, plastic? There we go. Great. And now, okay, so these are coquito cookies that I made that need to be portioned out and frozen. So we're gonna do that now while the cake is in the oven. So we can hang out for a little bit longer. What do you think? I think yes. Okay, so what we're doing is we're taking our scale and giving her a little bit of cellophane wrapping because we're gonna weigh out 75-gram cookies. So that's 50. So now with that in mind, that's 50. Okay, great. Now 50, 68, 75. Ooh, 77. 75. Great. That, go like this. And this is an oat flour cookie, and it's also a protein cookie. So they don't really spread this specific recipe. The fruit forward ones don't spread that much on their own. So we're going to go ahead and pre-shape them as close as possible to what we put them into the oven like, which is like this. So we're going to put this on our cookie sheet, and we're going to do this for the entire mix of dough. And then we will put this in the freezer like this for a bit. And once they've frozen over a little bit, then they can go into a bag. It's gonna be 8, 75. And again, these are coquito chunk protein cookies that I worked on a couple of days ago. They've been hanging out in the fridge and they really needed to be frozen. It's been a busy week. And actually, I need to figure out what the chunk part of the coquito chunk is. Like, do I make like a little coconut like crunch of some kind and then sprinkle it on top? 67, 70, 74, 75. Just like that. You almost like shape it almost into like a top or a spaceship. You don't even want to go full ball because we want to turn them into almost like hockey pucks. They smell so good. Great. 75. Ooh, I love that. Bum, bum, bum. Press it around, kind of get it like this, and then we just flatten it out a little bit. Okay. Right. 62, 72, 77, 75. Okay. Just like so. One, 80, 65, 69, 75. Great. Great. How's everybody doing, by the way? Feel free to say hi in the chat if you want to. It might just take me a second to see it, but I always look up to see if anybody said hi to this. So feel free to say hi. But if you just want to lurk, I get it too. I totally understand being a lurker. Okay, great. And then there were only a couple left. 61, 63, 2, 3, 6, 75. Great. Okay. So again, these are coquito protein cookies. I made them on the channel earlier this week. So feel free to look out for that if you want to see how I made this dough. So now it yielded 9 75-gram full-size cookies and 136 taster. So there's always like one little runt that is good because I get to just bake that off by itself just to make sure that it tastes good. And if there's any tiny adjustments that can still be made, we can make them. But I feel pretty good about this recipe. I've made it in a couple of other flavors. I made it in what I call strawberry shake and then another one called lemon daybreak. And they came out so good. And so they're basically oat flour, almond flour, protein powder, ground up chia, Greek yogurt, like all kinds of yummy stuff. They're really good protein cookies, but they taste good. Like that's what I want. I want protein cookies that ah, that are good for you. I want cookies that are good for you, but they still taste good, but they're pleasant. So now we're gonna pop these in the freezer. Actually, speaking of protein cookies, I have two left from the white chocolate pistachio batch that we made. And I'm gonna go ahead and just bake them off as soon as this cake comes out of the oven. But let's prep this. So we're gonna take another cookie sheet. We're gonna line this baby with some parchment paper. Don't need that much because I'm only doing two cookies. We're only doing two cookies. And then what I like to use, lots of people have different ways to make, you know, like perfectly round cookies or as perfect as you can get to perfect because perfection is an illusion. I like to use tart rings. It's a hack that I saw somebody do. And for this recipe, we want to actually spray these down with a little bit of oil. So I'm going to take a little bit of avocado oil spray, a neutral oil, and just give them a quick little spray. It'll just help the cookie stick less to the tart ring when we want to pop it out. So then we have our greased up tart rings. What you call? Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. Greased up tart ring. Actually, that's good. That's a good drag name. So these are the last ones left of the first batch that I made of white chocolate pistachio protein cookies. These came out so good. Everybody that I gave them to loved them. So I feel like that recipe is pretty locked in. But let's take a look at it. Ooh, the only thing was, it was a bit of a sticky, wet dough, even out of the freezer. So I might need to adjust the recipe just a touch, but it's okay. It still is delicious. So we have white chocolate pistachio protein cookie. And we're gonna drop it right inside the tart ring. And then I think this is the runt. I think this is the small taster one because it feels a little small, but there's always a little runt in the bunch. Okay. And then these are gonna bake up for 12 to 14 minutes. So we're gonna do 15 minutes actually. So our cake is almost done. So we're just gonna, I don't wanna overwhelm myself. So let's do one thing at a time. Okay. So 5 minutes for the cake. Let's set this aside and let's get ready for the cake to come out. Actually, that's what we can do. So for the cakes, when they come out, we're gonna wanna wire a rack out for them. So right here, actually, we'll just swap it out for the cookies. We're gonna clean out the dishwasher while we wait. And if anybody wants to say hi in the chat, feel free to say hi in the chat while we wait for the cake to come out of the oven, which should be about 4 more minutes. For as much as I want it to be magic of television, that there's a cake waiting behind the scenes, that's not what this is. We're baking real time. This is real time baking. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Okay. One of these lunches has a peanut lover's favorites. The other has a sunflower berry you packed for your son. 3 minutes for the cake. All right. Let's get our toothpicks ready. All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, shall we? Let's take a look. Wait. Ooh, yeah, looking good, but definitely still very liquidy on top. Let's take a look. She's coming out clean though. We don't want it to over dry. They're coming out clean. I feel like they need to come out. I feel like they need to come out. Even though they look a little not set. Okay, it said 22 to something minutes. Let's do 2 more minutes. Because I feel like they look a little, I think they're gonna collapse. They look like done, but they look like they're gonna collapse. So we're gonna give them 2 more minutes. We're gonna give it 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay, 1 more minute. One more minute. See how these babies look. Because they went in there pretty moist. It was a pretty wet batter. So the good thing is that this is for tomorrow. So if I have to make another cake, I can make adjustments and make it again. I really don't want to do that. Ugh, cakes are so hard. Why are cakes so hard? Cakes are not easy. All right, 12 seconds. Let's see. Let's see. Smells heavenly. Okay, they're looking a little less jiggly. They're still jiggly, but a little less. Do you mind if I call you jiggly? All right, let's pull them out for now. Pull them out for now. Because we don't want them to over dry. And they look pretty good right now. I just don't want them to collapse. Okay. Let's pop these two babies in there. Let's do 15 minutes. Ooh, these smell so good. Ooh, yeah. You can smell the chocolate. All right, I'm happy with these. They seem to be holding structure well. Let's do another poke test. I'll poke this wet area. Because top comes out clean, but it has this little wet ridge. But it's coming out clean. So yeah, I think this is where we trust the process and we just let the cake set in the pan. And then we'll pop them out of the pan and cool them. So then the next thing that's going to happen with these that I'll probably do tomorrow Well, okay, so this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna finish setting, then they're gonna go into the fridge to cool. Then once they've been cooled and chilled, I'll level them out, make them level. And then we are making a, I want to say, I think it's a whipped chocolate ganache, if I'm not mistaken. And then we're topping it with some beautiful cocoa dusted raspberries. So that's the plan for these babies. So for now, they're going to sit here and set, which is what they need to do. And the cookies that are in the oven are going to do their cookie thing. But I'll be back tomorrow morning to keep working on this cake. So tomorrow morning, well, maybe today, I might come back later live today to make the ganache, but I need to read their instructions really quick and just kind of process them and see if it's better for me to make it today or if it's better for me to make it tomorrow. But there's a ganache that needs to be made, and then we're gonna stack the cake together, and then we're gonna decorate it with some beautiful raspberries. Um, yeah. So if you haven't hit subscribe, this is a great time to hit subscribe. I'll be back live either later or tomorrow to finish working on this cake. But if this is the first time that you're seeing me, hi, I'm MeMeCherry. I like to go live. I bake. Sometimes I work on little rhinestone projects. I also have a podcast. So feel free to check that out. It's all on this channel. I hope to see you soon. And if I don't see you again, I hope you have a great life. Bye.